Good morning, everybody. So today we are going to derive the finite element relations. Basically, we have to find out the matrix system. And we have, as we discussed yesterday, a truss will have several members. Yeah. So all members are connected with each other. Okay. Could be something like this. Not every member is connected to every member, but will be connected to a few other members, such that this provides a strong structure to any kind of application, right? So for example, for bridges, for example, you see a lot of trusses are used. Yeah. Okay. Now, if we want to derive the finite element relations for this, meaning that finally our objective is to find out Ku equal to F. And finally, we have to find out what is the stiffness matrix. That is the main objective here. Okay. Now, what happens when you have just one bar, right? So this is also consists of bars only, meaning that all the members can take only the axial loads. Okay. And just because they are taking axial load, so this can actually, you can construct if truss such a way that it can take any kinds of load. It can also take bending. For example, you fix here, you apply a load here, it can also take bending. Although individually, on individual level, all of them are only taking the axial loading only, because they will be joined here, right? So this member is different. It's not the same member. Okay, so there will be a joint here, kind of pin joint. All this will be actually pin joint only, but actually, since here members are connected to each other, it will be a structure only. It will not be a mechanism. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you have just one bar, in that case, you know already that Ku equal to F is the equation, and where you know that U is given by, so you have let's we write this way now. Okay, so we write Ux, right? Ux1 and Ux2. Yeah. Okay. Now what we will do, or let's call it a dash for a reason, or doesn't matter. Okay, not to confuse, let it be like that. Okay, so you have Ux1 and Ux2. This as U. And then K, depending on what the material properties, area and length is, you have 1, 1 minus 1, minus 1, 1. And that is our K. And F, corresponding to that, you will have Fx1 and Fx2. We are distinguishing now, we are writing X subscript so that we are preparing the ground. Or if you move it this way, it will have both the components, meaning that now instead of having the bar like that, let's say the bar is something like this.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Yeah, okay. So is it okay? Is it okay now, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. So so here we have we will have 2 degrees of freedom per node now, and you will have Ux1 and Uy1, Ux2 and Uy2. y2. We have 2 degrees of freedom per node, total 4 nodes, total 4 degrees of freedom. So now our displacement vector will be like this: ux1, uy1, ux2, uy2. And similarly, the force vector we can write corresponding fx1, fy1, fx2, fy2. Okay. Now, then what is k? Okay, so when it comes like this is easy, right? We just write wherever there is a displacement, there will be corresponding force as well, right? So we know that. So if the corresponding force will be fx1, corresponding force here will be fy1, corresponding force is fx2, corresponding force here is fy2. Now, when you have to find out a k, then you can use the. Is it okay, guys? Shubham, please mute. Shubham, please mute. Okay. Now, if you want to use the method that we learned, right? What we did, we fixed all the degree of freedom, and we applied a unit displacement and find out what the forces are. So you can do the same thing here. And what is the meaning of that? So if you want to find out k11, and how will you find out? In order to find out k11, you are going to fix all other freedom. Here, freedom is 1 here, 2, 3, and 4. So we are fixing all degree of freedom, meaning that we are going to fix like this. You given pin joint here so that there will be no displacement in X direction, no displacement in Y direction. Here, first degree of freedom in this direction. So we will make it free. However, in this direction, there is no displacement. So we have to give a roller support. So we have to give something like this. And then we give a displacement in this direction. Which direction? In first direction. That is ux1 equal to 1. Then we measure the forces. And whatever the force we measure, that will be known as, this is the force, right? If x1 will be equal to k11. This is the force if x2 will be k12. Similarly here, this you get this is fy1, guys, right? fy1. If x2 equal to k13, and here if y2 will be equal to k14, right? So what we are doing, both the degree of freedom fixed here, vertical degree of freedom is fixed here because of the roller. Only in the horizontal direction you are applying a unit displacement, then measuring all the forces. Those forces will give you the components of the distribution matrix. And what will be those values? Okay, now let's find out. Let's see the spring, what happens, right? If you had, instead of the bar, if you have a spring like this, then what happens? Here you have fixed. Here there is a roller. And here you have given a displacement of u x1 equal to 1. So what happens? Instead of, if you have, of course, remember that these displacements are very small. Displacements are small. Yeah. Displacements are very, very small. Remember, this all course is based on things which are displacements are small, you know. So like in solid mechanics, for example, those are very small displacement. So here, if you give displacement in this direction 1, then what is the displacement in this direction? So in this direction, displacement will be, let's write in this. So you have a theta here. So in this direction, you get ux1 cos theta is the displacement direction. If the displacement in that direction is ux1 cos theta, which is equal to cos theta because ux1 equal to 1, then what is the force generated? The force generated in this direction will be k times ux1 cos theta. Right? This is the force, right? This is the force, right? Okay. So if that is the force here, now you are compressing it, right? Compression. Now you have a spring which has a force which is equal to K. So K is the spring constant for this one. You have K, then ux1, which is equal to 1. So I will not write it. Then you have cos theta. So you have cos theta. This side also, there has to be the same force, which will be K cos theta. If K cos theta is the force which is under compression, then what force do you need? Remember that in your system, there is no force in this direction. You have only in force this direction and this direction. So you have to find out the component of that, right? So that really means we have the K cos theta, which is the force. That really means you are applying K cos theta multiplied, this is theta, multiplied by cos theta equal to K cos square theta in x direction. In y direction, you are applying K cos theta multiplied by sine theta. So this actually can be resolved into two parts. One will be K cos square theta, the other will be K cos theta sine theta. That really means these are the force, right? This is nothing but K11. This is nothing but K12. Right? Similarly, here, you can resolve this also the same way. And what do you have? You have here like this, and which is K cos theta. Then one component will be, so here you have just opposite of that will be simply, right? So this will be simply K cos theta sine theta, and this will be K cos square theta. See the sign, both are, this is downward, this is also left side. So both of them are towards the negative direction, negative y direction and negative x direction. So what do we get? Based on that, you can say that K13 is this one, but negative direction. So you have to write minus equal to minus K cos square theta. K14 will be equal to minus K cos theta sine theta minus K cos theta sine theta. So we got K12, K11, K13, K14. Similarly, you can get the other values. So what we got, we can write K equal to, right? And we have K in common. Then you got cos square theta. You get cos theta sine theta, right? Okay, and then 1, 2 is done. Then you got minus cos square theta minus cos theta sine theta. So you got that so far. Now you know that is symmetric. You can straight away you can write here. You can write cos theta sine theta. You can write here minus cos square theta, and you can here write minus cos theta sine theta. Automatically you can write it. Okay. Now same thing can be done for the other cases, right? So now what you have to do? We are going to apply displacement in y direction. So this is y direction, right? And how do you? So it will be roller like this one, so that it can move in this direction but cannot move in this direction, and this still we are fixing it like this. Yeah. And now if you do that, remember that still the angle is theta. So if you are moving this way, what will be the displacement in this direction? Displacement will be, so u in this direction. So let me write here u y1 equal to 1. If that is the case, then u in the direction of the bar, yeah, or the displacement for this bar will be equal to u y1 multiplied by sine theta. Sine theta, why? Because this is theta, here will be 90 minus theta. So cos of 90 minus theta will be sine theta. So this value. So this is equal to sine theta simply. Again, some displacement for this bar. Okay, we assume the spring here, right? But we'll come back to that. So we can assume this to be a spring, no problem. Okay, so we have a K, which is stiffness matrix K. The stiffness. If it is like this, then what is the force in that direction? So force, what you need will be F is equal to K times uy1 sine theta is equal to K sine theta. Is a displacement. It's force. If the force is this much along the bar, then what force you have to apply in this direction, and what force you have to apply in this direction, both of them together. To generate this force, you have to apply two forces, one in X direction, in Y direction, and that will be, so F 1 2 Fx, you say Fx1, right? So Fx1 will be nothing but F cos theta, right? So you have F here and theta here, and Fx1 is this one, right? So F cos theta will be the resolution, right? You resolve like this, which will be equal to K sine theta cos theta, and which is equal to K to 1. Now Fxy1 is equal to F times, right? F times sine theta. So F sine theta is equal to K sine square theta will be equal to K to 2, right? Others you can find out automatically. You know that the forces here will be such that it will be opposite of that. Or simply you can write from mechanics, you can write F x2 equal to minus Fx1. Why? Because forces have to add up to be 0. If this is in this direction is this much, the other direction it has to be like this one, because there is no other things here. Only the nodal forces are only there's no moments and all. So straight away, whatever the force you get here will be the force here. Whatever force you get here will be here, but the opposite direction. So we can write F x2 equal to minus F x1 equal to minus K sine theta cos theta, which is equal to simply K 2 3. And similarly, F y2 is equal to minus F y1 is equal to minus K sine square theta is equal to K to 4. Yeah. So now these values we will go back and put it. We already have put this K sine theta cos theta, right? So this actually, since this is symmetric, you will find that already it is already there. Then we have K sine square theta, then minus this, and then minus K sine square theta. So we'll go back, we will write, we have this already, this one, and then we have sine square theta, then we have minus cos square, minus cos theta sine theta, and then we have minus sine square theta. What you see here is, if cos square theta here is, then this will be minus of this, because you know that, you understand that this force and this force are in the same direction, so total force has to be equal to 0. So this and add this will be 0, this add this will be 0, right? So this will follow always. So this and this add them will be 0, this and this add this will be 0. Hence, automatically, if you add all of them, will be 0. Anyway, you can now complete the, thus automatically you can finish it now. No need to do further. So based on that logic. So what you see here, it is symmetric. So just we write like that first. So symmetric. So this will be minus cos theta sine theta, and then minus sine square theta. So that this line or these lines becomes the same. Now we can complete here. No need to do 2 more experiments. You know that this will be opposite of that. This will be opposite of that. So we just finish it like that. This becomes cos square theta. This becomes cos theta sine theta. This becomes cos theta sine theta, and this becomes sine square theta. Any questions so far, guys? Any question?
No, sir.
Yeah, okay. So if instead of a spring, if you have the real truss, right? So in that case, you have a bar which has area A, then material has this Young's modulus and length is L, then you can replace K by EA over L, right? And then you have the stiffness matrix for the truss element, okay? And you have many trusses. You can accordingly, depending on how the orientation is, you can assemble now, right? Any question?
No, sir.
Yeah, okay. Now there is other way of doing it. Once you know that the stiffness matrix now we have derived, so derived from the first principle meaning that in lab basically you are doing, right? You can also, there are other way also, like in computer method, you don't do like that, or you can have a stiffness matrix or a algorithm already written, which will take care of theta. You give theta, automatically it builds the stiffness matrix for every element, and then it can be assembled. Assembly remains the same as earlier. Only thing here is the degree of freedom you have to take care of, right? So you know that every node has 2 degrees of freedom. So X should go to X only, Y should go to Y only. So like that you have to maintain, right? The rest remains the same. We will come back to that when we solve some problem, but the other way of deriving the stiffness matrix, and we will use some mathematics for doing it. So now we have two systems, right? So let's say this is the original system, and we call it UX1, we say, sorry, UX2, we say dash here, right? So we had UX1, we say dash, UY1 dash, and then UY2 dash. This is the original one, and this will have K dash, let's call it the corresponding stiffness matrix will be K equal to, you know that this will be EA over L, right? And then 1, okay, actually it will be bigger one because we have 4 degrees of freedom now, but theta equal to 0. So this comes in between. First you had just this degree of freedom, just this degree of freedom. Then you had 2 by 2 matrix. Now we have this and this, but we have added this, but they are pointless. Pointless meaning that they have no meaning basically, because if theta equal to 0, then we know that all the stresses or displacement in this direction only, in this direction it will be always 0 only, right? But still we are writing so that it is easier to move it, rotate it, and then calculate the stiffness matrix, right? So let's say, like in that case, how will you write? We will write it as 1. So we have 1, right? Let's count the degree of freedom, right? So degree of freedom here is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. 4 degrees of freedom. So the original one, we had, we just bothered about degree of freedom 1 and 3 only. We wrote, basically, you remember, we wrote EA over L, 1 minus 1 minus 1, 1. And those degree of freedom actually related to 1 here, 3 here, 1 here, and 3 here. So originally, when we did not consider this degree of freedom in Y direction, we had only in X direction at both the ends. Then we just considered degree of freedom number 1 and 3, 1 and 3, and 1 and 3, right? So we have 1, 1, 3, 1, and you have 1, 1, then 1, 3, then 3, 1, 3, 3. All rest will be 0, right? So that means if we have to convert from 2 by 2 system to 4 by 4 system for this one, it is simply, we are going to write like 1, we will just fill up from here, right? So it will be 1, 0, minus 1, 0. Then we have to write 0, 0, 0, 0, because number 2, we don't have any number 2 here, so all zeros. Then we have minus 1, 0, 1, 0, right? Then 0, 0, 0, 0. Right? What we are doing here is 2 by 2 system we are converting into 4 by 4 system. We just added 2 extra degree of freedom per node. And why are we doing it? We are doing it so that we can rotate it. You know, mathematically we can rotate this, right? And then we see what the K will be. So K dash is like this. Then corresponding U dash will be ux1 dash, uy1 dash, ux2 dash, uy2 dash. Similarly, the force f dash will be equal to fx1 dash, fy1 dash, fx2 dash, fy2 dash, transpose of that. Yeah. Okay. Once we have that, now let's rotate it mathematically. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Okay. Before we rotate it, what is the meaning of that? Now we are rotating, instead of having like this, our system is now like this. Same element we just rotated that way. And we have theta like this one. Yeah. Okay. Now remember that our idea is to find out the stiffness matrix for this system, and we have a new system, and we are calling this one is ux1, you are calling uy1, then ux2, then uy2. This is our definition now, right? Okay. So if that is the case, and the stiffness matrix, original stiffness matrix looks like this one, we want to derive our stiffness matrix for in this system, meaning that we have two systems. The one which is attached to this is a local system, so ux1 dash, uy1 dash, right, ux2 dash, and uy2 dash. So see here, this is the original which is attached to the bar, or you call it a local system, like local coordinate system. This local dash is the local coordinate system, right? And these are the global coordinate system, right? And finally, we have to find out what is the stiffness matrix for in the global coordinate system, right? So if we know, if for the local one we have this equation, right? We have this equation for the local one. Local one, we what do we know? For the local one, we know that k dash u dash equal to f dash. That we know, right? And we have to find out that this is the local or the element coordinate system. And then we have the global system. We have ku equal to f, where we don't know what k is. We have to find out. But what we know is u, and u is ux1, uy1, ux2, uy2. Transpose of that. And then we know f, which is fx1, fx2, sorry, fy1, then fx2, fy2. Transpose of that. We have to find out what the k is. K we have found out earlier, which was from other method. We did find out k, right? But now we want to find out the actual one. Actual means the other method we are applying. So how to do it? What is the relation between this and this? That we have to find out. If the displacement in this direction is this, or the displacement in this direction, now we have to find out. We have to relate them basically. And what is the relation? We can read it like this. ux1, if you have to find out, then what will be you do? You will do like this. ux1 will be equal to ux1 dash, right? ux1 dash cos theta, right? So this equal to this cos theta, and then this is also there, right? And because of that, there will be a sine theta coming into picture. So it will be u dash x ux1 dash cos theta ux1 dash cos theta, and then you will have minus uy1 dash sine theta. So this is ux1 dash cos theta is here, coming from here, and then this component is the other way, right? So this, if you take the component of that, this will be in the x direction, but you take the component of this one, it will be a negative x direction. Hence, this will be subtracted. Now this is the theta, this is 90 degree, this is 90 minus theta. Hence, cos of 90 minus theta will be sine theta, and your sine theta is there. So that's why you get like this. Second equation, you can find out uy1, which is this. Uy1 will be equal to ux1 dash sine theta, because this is 90 minus theta, so sine theta. So we write it here as ux1 dash sine theta, and then you have this also will add. Both of them has component upward, hence both will add. So sine theta here, 90 minus theta here also. So this will be y1 dash cos theta plus y1 uy1 dash cos theta, right? Okay, so you see here the global system can be obtained in terms of the local system. Yes, and this local system, we can write now, this will be simply ux1 uy1 is equal to, we write like this, is equal to we take this and this common, and then we get cos minus sine and so on. So we'll write here whatever that will be, then ux1 dash and uy1 dash. Yeah, what will be the value? First, if you look at, it will be cos theta, and then minus sine theta. So we write cos theta minus sine theta, and here you have sine theta and cos theta. You have sine theta and cos theta. Yes, you can also write the other way around as well. So this will be equal to inverse of that, and if you do that, then you will find out this sine theta comes here. That's it. All those will be, automatically you will find out that you can also write this in terms of this as well, right? So in that case, here you get the inverse of that. It will be here. Anyway, so we have this. Based on that simple analysis, you can do for point 2, and you will get this ux2 uy2 is equal to same thing, right? Cos theta minus sine theta, cos theta, and then ux1 dash uy1. Sorry, this will be point 2, so 2, number 2 point. Okay, do you like this? Any questions so far, guys? Okay, you can combine them together as well, and in that case it will be like this: ux1 Or let's do that in the next page. We can combine them together and we can write like this: ux1, y1, ux2, uy2 is equal to, and you will have cos theta minus sin theta 0, 0, u x1 dash, u y1 dash, u x1 u x2 dash, u y2 dash. So we are just combining them together. So we had like this, then we had here sin theta, then you have cos theta 0, 0, then you have 0, 0. Same thing here, cos theta minus sin theta 0, 0, sin theta, cos theta. Yeah. So this is the relationship we got. If you know this, you just multiply it by this one and you get in this direction. Yeah. Okay. Now what? Now we know the relationship. And what relation we have? We know that if we, okay, so before we proceed, we know that for the displacement, we have this relation. Remember that our forces are also the vectors, similar kind of analysis can be done. And you can write that f x1, f y1, f x2, f y2 can be related exactly the same way. We write here cos theta minus sin theta 0, 0, sin theta cos theta 0, 0, 0, 0, cos theta minus sin theta 0, 0, sin theta cos theta. Can be related exactly the same way because these are also vectors. The same way as we did for displacement, you can do the same way as the force as well. There is no difference. This is as any vector. If you rotate, then how the relationships are. And then you have here fx1 dash, fy1 dash, fx2 dash, fy2 dash. Right? Okay. So now it's easy meaning that we know that this we have this in terms of, or you can also write this in terms of that also, right? So similarly, it can be written the any way basically. Yeah. So now let's see now. Now it's we know for the system we have k dash u dash equal to f dash, right? Okay. Now if we, okay, so let's call this guy as, if you call this as rotational matrix R, right? So relationship, this is U is equal to R times this system, right? So we write like this. Let's say R is equal to f equal to R times f dash. Okay. And we also have and u equal to R times u dash, where R we know this is nothing but R. So we just, so this one is R actually, the whole thing is R. R matrix, rotational matrix. So you write like this. Okay, and so we have this relationship, we have this relationship, we have this relationship, and we also have, and we have Ku equal to F. Yeah. Now this is a matter of changing from one to other, and we can find out value, right? Okay. Now what happens? We have R here. We have R here, right? So we put R, we pre-multiply with R to this one. So what happens? So from here, we will get pre-multiply with R. So we get what? R K dash U dash equal to R F dash. Right? But R F dash is what? Equal to F. So we write equal to F. Got it? Okay. Now what we get here? This if U we get the F. Now we have this relation. So what do we have? We have U equal to R U dash. That really means we can have R inverse, right? R inverse U will be equal to U dash, right? So U dash, we'll put it here. So from here, we put that value. And what do we get? We get R K dash R inverse K dash R inverse U equal to F. Right? But you know that we know already K times U equal to F. Right? So this is equal to K times U basically. That really means K equal to R K dash R inverse. So this is what we want to know. So same thing you can get by doing this. Exactly the same thing. Yeah. So where K dash is, you know, is equal to the simple matrix that we had. K dash was this, see, this one, simple one, where you have 1 minus 1 thing. And you use the rotational matrix, where rotational matrix R is given here, that you have used to find out these values. Or you can write, in other words, you can write K is equal to, and you have R matrix, so you can write R, which is cos theta. Maybe we don't write it, we know already, just write where. So we have this K equal to R K dash R dash, where R is equal to, we know, cos theta minus sin theta 0 0, then sin theta cos theta 0 0 0 0, cos theta minus sin theta 0 0, sin theta cos theta. R is like this, and K dash is equal to EA over L. And then you have 1 0 minus 1 0 0 0 0 0 minus 1 0 1 0 0 0 0 0. That's it, and you will find it. So this is the more computer friendly. You can easily do it, you know, rather than you can also write those equation earlier one, but this can be easily done. Yeah. Okay, so this is what we have derived the finite element system for a truss system. And next, what you can do is assemble them, right? So when you have a problem, the problem could be something like this. So one bar is like this, the other bar is like this. Yeah, so then you have to assemble. And how do you do that? So first you have to find out what the angles are. So for that, this is θ1. For that, this is θ2, right? And then you put those values. So for these two elements, you get the Stephenson matrix, and then you assemble them. That, and assembling them, and then after that, you can solve the problem. So we can take up some problem, a small problem probably, to see how it solves, maybe during the tutorial or something, next tutorial. Okay, and then we will find out how you solve those problems. Yeah. Any confusion, any question, any doubt? Okay, so if there is no question, okay, see you in the next class. Happy Makar Sankranti.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.